guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an article titled 6 Reasons Why Women Are More Attracted to Beta Male Personality in Today's Day and Age. And guys, this article, which is written by a woman, is trying to convince the readers, and particularly men, pretty much that nowadays, if you act like a typical beta male, then you're going to get women. Okay, because that's more attractive in today's world, and women are attracted to those type of guys now. Unlike in the past, but things have changed, and now the beta male guys, they have the shot. Okay, complete BS. Okay, now guys, you're going to get a lot out of this article, and one of the biggest things I want you to walk away from after watching this video is why I tell you so many times, never, I repeat, never take dating advice, relationship advice, attraction advice, pickup, being a man, any type of advice from a woman, ever. Because by and large, most women, and I do mean most with a capital M, have no clue what they respond to emotionally. When it comes to, they think they know, but they really don't. Okay? Or let's just say they may, deep down they may know, but they hate the reality of it. So how many times you guys have heard women say they want a good guy that does all these things for them and opens up and just all these traits? You've heard the stories. Brings them flowers, wines them and dines them, all this crap you see in the rom-com movies. They get that guy, and he does all these things they say they want, and ultimately they either dump him or they cheat on him for a guy that doesn't do any of that stuff. That's the exact opposite. Who is the opposite from a beta male, nice guy type? The bad boy, alpha male type. How many times? So this is why you never take advice from women about these things at all. It is a recipe for disaster. On occasion, you may get some gals that may have somewhat of a clue about certain elements of things, but to find one actually the whole picture, no way. And even if they do get it, they may not like the way things are, and they want to mold guys to be a certain way. And so you're going to see here in this article, which is complete nonsense, because never in the history of the world have women been attracted to beta guys, okay? They settle for beta guys when they realize the alphas are never going to settle, or they just don't have a chance with the alpha types. They settle. This is why so many guys must understand that if when you were younger and you didn't have a chance with the girls, or you didn't exactly have girls beating down your door, and then they always went for the other guy, the masculine guys, the bad boys, the alpha, whatever you want to call them. And then all of a sudden you get to your 30s and you got a job, got an income, got some money coming in, you've improved yourself in a few ways, and all of a sudden these same women that wouldn't give you the time of day are now after you. It's not because all of a sudden you've become so hot overnight. It's because they're running out of options. Because they want to settle. Because the big 3-0 is right around the corner. Or they're already in their 30s and they realize the bad boys, the alphas, the high value men, whatever you want to call them, they're not going to settle with them or settle at all. So they got to choose the beta guy. And they claim, oh, they're more attractive. Wrong. And many of you guys watching this know this. You've learned the hard way, or you've just observed this enough to know this. So anyhow, guys, I know I went on a bit here, but I need to make that clear. So I'm going to go through this article here. I'm going to point more of these things out. And obviously point out her BS way of thinking along the way. So it starts off, one of the harshest truths life throws your way is the fact that you can't live like an alpha male all your life. Says who? I've known alpha guys that are in their 70s and 80s. They were that way when they were younger, and they went to their grave as alpha men. But it doesn't mean that they actually were going around like getting into fights or hooking up with 20-year-olds. So her idea of what alpha is obviously a little different. Sometimes you're born an alpha, sometimes you acquire traits along the way, and sometimes you just don't have any alpha traits. And that's nothing to beat yourself over with. This is from a woman, by the way. We may have normalized the image of an alpha male as desirable and important, but truth be told, alpha males are what's wrong with the world today. Interesting. Now, let me just backtrack a second here. In her mind, and in the mind of many, an alpha male, a lot of them people see as kind of that high school jock bully type, and that is on one spectrum of it. But the reality is, most guys that can be alpha men are typically guys that are leaders. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you what alphas and betas are like. Okay, alpha men more along the lines of the high-value men, bad boy types. You can have the types that are certainly like she said here. What I think she means is type probably like the stereotypical high school jock, big mouth bully type. Okay, that's the extreme end, and those guys are jackasses, and they always have been, always will. But then you get the guys that are alphas that are leaders. They're ambitious. They're driven. They take charge. They're decisive. They're good role models. They go for things in life, make things happen. They're the type of the guys that guys respect and want to be, and the types that women respect and want to be with. Okay, and there's varying degrees of this, because believe me, on the alpha male side, you also get guys that are bad boys. A lot of bad boys are usually alpha males. But that doesn't mean that they're actually driven, ambitious guys, okay? Let me just make that clear. And you also get guys that are definitely thugs and criminals, okay? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about guys, the alphas, that actually are driven leaders, make things happen for themselves. And also, there's alpha in the working world and there's alphas with women. There's a whole level to this stuff. But the point is, guys that make things happen, guys that take charge, guys that are leaders, guys that are decisive, guys that don't take crap from anyone, guys that put themselves first, not other people first. Then you got the beta males. The beta males are your stereotypical nice guys. These are the guys that generally are indecisive, can't make up their mind, usually emotional, sensitive, pour out their feelings, don't go for what they want to, hesitant, dithering, put other people ahead of ahead of them. Okay, nice guys finish last, right? They put girls on a pedestal. They kiss women's butts. All that. Those are the difference between alphas and betas, at least in the in life and also in the romance scene. So what she's trying to say is the betas, which I explained just now, are going to be obviously get the better deal, and women want them. Wrong. I know I interrupted the article. I know some guys get upset about this, but I had to explain that while I was thinking about it. Anyhow, the new category of men who have taken over societal norms and its various designs are the new breed of beta men. Trust us, they are here to stay. It's a brand new generation making up brand new rules, and men are emerging as a more tolerant gender, radicalizing their emotions and sensitivities to fine-tune them with the opposite gender. Oh, so we have a brand new version of betas with new rules and all that stuff, and that's okay. Sure. And she has some, if you click on the link, if you pause and scroll the description and click on the link, you'll see some pictures of guys that she has here. And let me tell you, they look like the kind of guys you see today. Guys, what we have here is a perfect example of decades of feminism impacting the masses through media, television, movies, radio, in the schools, have been conditioning men to be more feminine and in touch with their feelings and sensitive and all that, and molding the girls to act more like men. This is going on all around the world, and I know this from the articles I cover, from the emails that you guys send me from all over the world telling me what's going on. I mean, it's very important if you guys have kids to see who's teaching your kids, because you usually have these liberal types that want to mold the boys in a certain direction. So be very careful about your schools and know what they're teaching, know who's teaching them. But never in the history of the world have women been attracted to beta men or the nice guys. Okay, they're usually repelled by them, but they settle for them. So nothing's changed. It's complete nonsense. And guys, if you literally say enough of this video and you leave right now, take this from me now. Don't take advice from women because they don't know what the hell they're talking about, especially her. To continue. No, we're not talking about gym boys who can bench press twice their body weight to impress women. Instead, we're talking about the men who have a more holistic approach towards life, and while they might lack the sensibilities to confront situations outrightly, the new age men are more careful in the way they carry themselves. Did you hear what she said there? Might lack the sensibilities to confront situations outrightly. In other words, guys that don't stand up for themselves. Right here, new age men are more careful in the way they carry themselves. In other words, they're not going to, there's a situation arises where they need to stand up for themselves or stand up to an aggressor. They're non-confrontational. That's a beta male. Alpha males don't take crap from anyone. Alpha males stand up to people that are bullying them or trying to take advantage of them. They face challenges. Beta men cower. That's where coward comes from. And the situations just avoid them altogether. No woman wants a guy like that. A woman wants a guy that's strong, that she can look up to and feel safe with. Not one of these types that she has to be the strong one. She has to be the protector and the leader and the man. See? They think twice about making any impulsive decisions in order to make the right ones. Women nowadays seek men who are more rational with their emotions. While the bad boy image may work for some men, women actually love to settle with someone who is more upfront with his feelings, reliable, and emotionally present, and that is something that the alpha male can't really connect with. She said settle. I told you. By and large, absolutely, majority of women settle because they realize the alpha guys aren't going to settle down with them. They're not going to play house and go be the dad and the perfect husband and marriage material. Doesn't work that way. Or these guys, they simply aren't going to do that altogether. They're going to be dating women that are way younger than her. Okay, they may have liked her when she was 23 or 24 or 25, but now she's 29. They're moving on. So they got to get their beta guy to settle with. And this is just an example. Women justifying probably her actions. After the M2 movement, I'm speaking in code, Me Too, the men who were in utmost solidarity and understood the challenges women went through their entire life are now the hand-picked generation of role models. No, not because they sympathized or even empathized with the movement, but because they understood the context of equality and stability that is required through it, while also understanding gender roles and fluidity in society today. Here's why the beta male is the best personality to be right about right now. So she's going to give all these reasons why the beta guys are the great guys to go for to the ladies, and obviously trying to convince men to be like these guys, and it's okay. Number 1, beta males are in tune with their emotions. I can't wait to hear this. Yeah, beta males are emotional and sensitive and cry and do all that stuff. And last time I checked, women don't like guys that cry and whine and Don't get us wrong. Alpha males have emotions too, but they don't show them as valiantly as they should. I've said this before, guys, and I'll say it again. Never go pouring out your feelings to your lady and crying in front of them and all that. It is a recipe for disaster, okay? If you're upset, just simply say, hey, I'm having a bad day, I'll be fine, and work it out on your own. But I'm not saying walk around having it all bottled up. If you got to blow off some steam, and talk about it with your buddies. Okay, they'll help you resolve the problem. But when you go pouring out your feelings and emotions and, God forbid, cry in front of your lady, she's going to lose respect for you, okay? And I get heated about this all the time, but I will never back down from my opinion on this because it's a recipe for disaster, and some may use it to come back and use it against you later on down the road. If you don't believe me, you think I'm full of crap, go pour your feelings out to your lady. Go cry in front of her. Go see how that impacts her attraction for you. Because she's programmed to say, especially in today's world, I want a guy that will pour out his feelings and be emotional, all that. She's programmed for that, but nothing's going to get the original programming of nature wanting a strong man, and a strong guy does not cry in front of his lady and whine about his emotions and feelings. People will hate on me for saying this, but it is what it is. Showing a certain amount of emotion is not a mark of weakness. Instead, it shows that you're human and normalcy prevails in your cognition. While the alpha male may not understand this, the beta understands this fairly well, and it works well when they're with women who seek an emotional connection with men, instead of emotionally unavailable from a stark alpha male, which mostly he's conditioned to from the beginning. Yeah, right here she said the beta men can pretty much, they can have the emotional connection. Yeah. How many guys have been that guy where the girl goes and pours out her feelings and emotions to about some other dude, and they sit there and listen to it? They don't get her. They go to the guy that doesn't do that. Right? Number 2, beta males are reliable and trustworthy. Well, there is truth to that, actually. I will say that, because these are the guys they settle for. And these are the guys that are reliable and trustworthy, while the alpha males, the bad boys, this is more on the bad boy side of the alpha males, they are usually unpredictable, unreliable, and untrustworthy. But these women, in their warped harebrained mind, are attracted to the unpredictability of these guys. But eventually they realize, I can't settle down and marry a guy like this because I need someone stable to be a husband and pay the bills and provide for the kids. And yet they're still attracted to that guy even though he's none of those qualities. It is an inherent quality. If you're one, you will realize you're always someone people. Mostly your women friends. Let me just read this again. It's written actually kind of poorly here. It says, it's an inherent quality. If you're one, you will realize you're always someone people. Yeah, she messed that up. Mostly your women friends rely on, and they might not realize this now, but this is exactly the quality woman seeks in a life partner. She says the girls may not realize this now, but later on they're going to realize this is what they want in a partner. While we are not discarding alpha traits of reasonable reliability and trust, but they will not try hard and mostly succumb to emotional pressure and disappear, as they will feel trapped. A beta male, though, will stay till the end and can be relied upon with a life event. Yeah, of course the betas will stay to the end. The girl can treat the beta guy like crap, disrespect him, all these things. He'll still stick around because in his mind, number one, he was programmed to put the woman on the pedestal and treat her like the queen. And no surprise, she doesn't respect him and certainly doesn't love him. And also, he thinks he doesn't have a whole lot of options. A guy with a lot of options is not going to stay to the end if the situation is exactly very favorable for him. Why would he? Number 3, beta males are not competitive or feel threatened. That's certainly true. Alphas generally are competitive-driven guys, while betas are just like, whatever. Passive, we'll just take things as they go. Beta boys are rather secure. No, they're not. It's mostly how they've been brought up. If a man grows up around 1 or 2 sisters, he learns to be responsible and a little less callous around how he treats others. You mean how he treats women. While most people do operate on their egos, beta males are quite secure that way. They will never take an irrational challenge or compete against something they don't deem fit. While they're challenging themselves every day, they don't feel threatened by outsiders challenging them. They're calm in their perspective and their approach both. Number 4, beta males are quiet yet confident. I've never met a guy who is a beta or nice guy type that is going around pure confidence. No. Don't think beta men are boring. They may be introverts, but they're interesting to the core, and once they dabble in the conversation, they're quite confident in how they carry it forward. Well, if they're talking about equality or gender studies or something like that, sure. They don't hide their insecurities behind a garb of arrogance like alpha males do, and they're quite comfortable in their skin. In fact, they don't even need lessons on approaching women. Women approach them naturally because they attract women with their confident demeanor. I don't know where she lives. Maybe she's in a parallel universe or another alternate reality where this is going on. But the last time I checked, women don't go approaching and chasing after nice guys or beta guys. The only time they may do that is if, the situation is if they're moving along in life, they're getting older, they're in their 30s or getting close to 30. They need that nice guy to settle with. And by the way, guys, women can pick out a nice guy a mile away, a marriage material guy, and maybe then they approach him because they realize, okay, I gotta get a man. The clock's ticking here. I need to get a dude before I turn 30, or I'm in my 30s. I want a guy, so I can get pregnant before I'm a high-risk pregnancy situation here. So I'll go find that nice guy. Then maybe she approaches them then. But believe me, the beta guys and nice guys in their early 20s, when the girls are in their 20s, are not approaching them or chasing after them. Now, what's interesting, I will say this, is I've noticed that this generation, the Generation Z types, even maybe the latter part of the millennial groups, while a lot of these guys have been most certainly conditioned by the feminist movement, and they're definitely, you can take one look at them and they're dorks. They're beta guys, they're nice guys, and yet they've actually been conditioned to kind of embrace and own their dorky, nice guy ways, and you can pick them out a mile away. And so one could say maybe they actually have a little confidence in who they are, but I've found that it's an act. They put it out there. Right now, the generation now that I see in the late teens and 20s, it's to me, it's like I've never seen a generation work so hard to project how much they don't care. In terms of how they act, how they dress, all those things. But deep down, they do care because they're working so hard to show how much they don't care. And that's mistaken as confidence when it's really not. But that's just me. Number 5, beta males are respectful. That is 100% true too. The beta male guys are 100% respectful to women. They the ultimate respect and politeness to women. And that's all nice for a girl's BFF, the guy they go to be their buddy, and go shopping with or go tell all their feelings to. But a lot of girls, they like the bad boy or the assertive guy because he isn't so quote unquote respectful of to them and all that. They like the challenge. They like the guy who can be kind of an a-hole. While the M2 movement played out, the men who changed their perspective on how to treat the opposite gender truly understood what women actually required from them, and it was mostly respect, understanding, and equality. A beta male understood it better because he is more polite and respectful towards others. While some alpha males dominated opinions on how useless the movement was, the beta went out of their way and stood by the women fighting for this battle. They're always more respectful of women and never disrespect one, no matter what. And that's why they pretty much are in the situation they've been their whole lives. Because they're afraid of speaking up. Because, God forbid, they don't want to offend her. Okay? They'll agree with the girl. They'll like the things that she likes. They'll agree with her opinions. Whether they actually agree with it or not, they'll put on the act. And that's why a lot of women don't like nice guys. Because they know nice guys are usually full of crap. That they'll say what they need to say to get the girl. While a bad boy or an alpha, he's himself. He doesn't care. If she has an opinion about a subject, let's say it's a political issue, he's going to say what he thinks, whether she likes it or not, because he doesn't care. And he actually has integrity. While your typical nice guy, beta guy, like she's talking about here, who respects women, will say whatever he has to say to, God forbid, not offend her. He'll pick and choose the words he chooses and things like that. You know the guys I'm talking about here. Number 6, beta males make the best fathers. Well, they'll make reliable fathers. They definitely won't leave their kids. They'll definitely take care of it. And I agree with that, so that's no problem there. But will they raise the future generation of boys to be strong men? No. She says beta males are the best role models for children growing up. No, they're not. I know guys that are classic beta types and that have children, and believe me, no. They're going to raise their sons to be a bunch of P-words. They make excellent fathers and husbands even. They're everything a woman looks for in a husband. They may be everything that she says she wants in a husband, but that's not everything she's attracted to. And she's going to be looking at the guy on the motorcycle or driving the cool convertible that has some muscles and is not, wearing the skinny jeans and carrying a man purse or man makeup or whatever these younger beta types wear in their 20s nowadays. A beta male will teach his son how to respect women and stand up for them. But not stand up to them. Notice that. He will teach them to resolve issues with rationality while using the right perspective. I knew I couldn't do a video without sirens going off. Hello. He will teach them to be naturally confident and never arrogant, and to teach him to be open with his emotions. I got no problem teaching your kids not to be arrogant, but there's a difference between arrogance and confidence, okay? But a lot of women go for the arrogant guy anyway because it's a challenge. So he can communicate better and have good understanding of the world around him. Yes, the beta guys will make reliable fathers that they'll always be there for their kids, which I respect. They'll certainly always provide, which I respect. And they'll love them, which I respect. But they're not going to teach the boys to actually be masculine men. They're going to teach them what is considered how men should be by the perspective of the feminist movement nowadays. And these boys aren't the types that are going to become the strong role models that our world needs. They're going to be a bunch of nice guys. They're going to be taken advantage of by the gals. And just mark my words. She finishes saying, so, in case you're lamenting over the fact that women are not swooning over you because you don't have the arrogant gift or gab or a muscular body to match, just wait out a few years. Beta males are certainly a worldly feature, and they're here to stay. She said right there, wait it out a few years. Translation, if you are in your 20s and your whole life, teens, 20s, junior high, high school, college, 20s, the girls are paying attention to you, just you wait. She said it right there. You heard me say it. Because one day they'll go after you. Yes, when they're done riding the carousel with all the Chad and Tyrones in their 20s, and they realize Chad and Tyrone, the bad boys, or just not even the Chad and Tyrone types, just the guys that are just successful, driven, high-value men, high-status men, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays, those guys aren't going to settle down. So these women are like, oh, crap, clock's ticking. I'm going to be 30 soon, like I said before. I got to get a guy. Then the beta guy, which he's